If there's one thing I learned in all my years of crypto, you need to trade the market that you have, not the market that you want. In today's video, we'll be talking about this, going over the most recent Bitcoin price action as we dipped to below $90,000. Now, we've been talking about how this could be a possibility, and I, of course, took advantage of this opportunity. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Before we jump into the video, I have to make it extremely clear that nothing that I share on my channel should be construed as financial advice. I have the disclaimers in the description down below if you'd like to read that, but ultimately I am just a guy trading crypto and sharing with you how I'm navigating this market. All right, let's get right into it. So in yesterday's video, I talked about how I caught that falling knife of Bitcoin going below $90,000. I took some profits and then I moved my stop at break even. Now in these kind of shaky market conditions, that's typically what I've been doing. Taking profit on the way up, putting my stop at break even in case it does lead to the bottom, and then just letting the position play out stress-free. This time around, I did exactly the same thing, and this was of course shared in my premium group. You can see here that I'm currently sitting just over $30,000 in profit since longing Bitcoin right around $89,000. Now you can see that the price is once again going ahead and reversing. We have not reclaimed key levels, but as I discussed in my previous video, this was always going to be a very significant bounce zone. As soon as we went below this weekly low, I saw it as an excellent opportunity to go long. Now, if you want to know exactly how I am personally trading this market, you do have the first link in my description down below. You click this link, you DM me the word premium, and I'd be happy to onboard you into my free premium group. The only requirement is that you of course sign up with one of my affiliate exchange links and you start trading on there as you normally would. Now, my disclaimer is also all the way at the bottom of the description. Make sure to read that because again, nothing on this channel should be construed as financial advice. I'm just sharing with you exactly what I am doing in this market. Now let's get back to it. Obviously, I want this trade to play out even more. I secured some profits once more, just around 3K in profit, and now I would like to see Bitcoin go ahead and reclaim the key level that we've been discussing on the channel. That level is, of course, the yearly open. If we cannot reclaim the yearly open, it's highly likely that this entire pattern just continues to repeat. That's why in this market, I've been relatively risk averse in terms of trading. I get an excellent entry, I share it of course, and then I move my stop to break even after securing some profits. This means I can essentially lose no capital on these trades. And if you've been following me for a while, I've essentially been longing every single bottom here, catching some profits on the way up, moving my stop to break even. Catching some profits on the way up, moving my stop to break even. There was one moment there where I did incur a small loss of 0.6% of my total trading portfolio, but that's part of the game. I'm perfectly content with the current strategy that I'm employing in this market. Reminder, if you want to know what I'm doing, you do have that first link in the description down below. But the point is, until we can reclaim the yearly open, we are nowhere near in the clear. Now, I've been discussing a potential relief bounce, and if we are to get it, it would stem from this zone. I read a lot of the comments. I know there's a lot of trolls, but if you're not a trader, you don't need to comment anything. I know a lot of you got wrecked with altcoins, and I'm sorry that that happened to you. Ultimately, I've been extremely bearish on alts, and I understand the emotions that are involved with it, but at this point in time, I'm just trading the market that's right in front of me, not the market that I want. And whenever we get these kinds of opportunities, I do not hesitate to go long. Let me show you what I shared in the group because we also had the NVIDIA earnings with a 92% chance to go ahead and beat what was expected. Naturally, this added to my confluence. Now, you can see I posted this message going long here on Bitcoin with 1.5% of my trading portfolio. Average entry is 89,064. We had a lot of liquidity to the upside that I was also targeting. My hard stop loss at this point was $86,000. Now, if you're asking me right now, should I go ahead and enter? I will simply not tell you because it's very obvious that Bitcoin is still in a downtrend. You need to consider that. Now, similar to my last setup, due to the market conditions, I will not hesitate to move my stop loss at break even if the market allows for it. Woke up this morning, Bitcoin hit $93,000. I moved my stop at break even and I secured some profits. Catching bottoms is very hard and often requires multiple attempts. But thanks to the solid risk management, I am more than happy to continue to attempt it. And I will keep on trying this until we can go ahead and form a more convincing bottom. Now, if we start to reclaim the yearly open, it's at that point in time that I would be far more convinced that a local bottom is in. But for now, we are still downtrending. And then you can see this morning I did leave a voice message, shared what my trade was looking like, secured 10% profits, and then I'm just sitting there with my stop loss at break even. Let's see what happens at this point in time. We have some pretty significant events. I also wanted to quickly touch on Bitcoin dominance. Guys, I discussed a few videos ago how altcoins were looking a little bit better than Bitcoin, but I still have not closed my Bitcoin dominance long. I will of course let you know as soon as I close this, but you can see that in these moments when Bitcoin absolutely capitulates below $90,000, obviously Bitcoin dominance will increase. There's a couple of alts here and there that can outperform, but I'm still a little bit cautious here. I will likely trim a little bit of profits off the table once more. My stop is already at break even here, so it's a risk-free trade. But the point is, I'm not that convinced that we're just going to see an explosion, but the signs are starting to brew that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. Now back to the Bitcoin chart. It's abundantly clear to me that we need to reclaim the yearly open if we are to see more upside. Otherwise, the same exact thing will likely play out, and that is for us to go ahead and make some new lows. This time around, I think that if we go ahead and lose those 88K levels, Bitcoin will be nuking to the mid 80K zone. Now, obviously, this isn't what we want, but I'm just sharing with you what I think could be happening if we cannot confirm this at the bare minimum, a double or even triple bottom, or if we cannot go ahead and reclaim that yearly open. That is how I'm currently operating in this market. Now, on the weekly time frame, the weekly candle isn't looking that bad anymore, but naturally, I want us to reclaim $98,000, and that is still a solid $6,000 plus away from where we are currently at. So unless we can reclaim $98,000, if we start closing the week like this, it's at that point in time that I will come out and say, guys, the top is in. But as I discussed in my previous video, just because we get that confirmation, it doesn't mean we won't get a relief bounce. I firmly believe that this bounce will be occurring sooner rather than later. Now, if we take a look at the liquidation heat map, you can see that there's tons of liquidity to the upside. I find it hard to believe that these guys will be getting away with shorting the market. Similarly, on the 30-day time frame, way more upside liquidity. As you can see, this cumulative short liquidation leverage amounts to just under 8.5 billion, but I'm sure as we continue to go up, there is way more liquidity to the upside. And just a quick note on YouTube's AI striking down some channels. This has impacted Trader Main. It's also impacted many others since we just got that new update by Google. So, if this is to happen to me, please know that you can reach me in my Telegram community. Now, of course, I have the first link in my description, which is my premium group where I share all of my own personal trade setups. However, I also have a general group down here, as you can see, free Telegram community. Go ahead and join this group because I will be posting more and more updates in there until YouTube can hopefully resolve this issue. Right now we're good. I will still be posting every single day, but I just wanted to let you know if you want to stay in touch with me and the content that I'm providing. Now, what is next here? Because you can see that Bitcoin is essentially trying to confirm another low. But as I said, I'm not going to be optimistic until we can at least reclaim the yearly open. You can see that yesterday, when we tapped into sub 90K levels, we ended up going all the way up to that yearly open, and we perfectly got rejected from the yearly open and from this massive trend line. Now, if we can reclaim the yearly open, I do think that Monday's high would be next. That's why I took some profits off of my most recent knife catching trade. However, I'm still not confident in saying that the bottom is in until we can start reclaiming this level with confidence. Then we can start talking about targeting Monday's high and then $98,000. Here's the thing. I still firmly believe that a larger relief rally should be expected. And as we discussed, it was always a possibility that we continue to wick down below these zones. As soon as we wicked, I went ahead and entered that trade, but the thing is, there's always another chance that I go ahead and get stopped out at break even. Let's see how the price action develops. I know it's a little bit difficult for me to give you these real-time updates on YouTube because I'm posting all the time in my community, but the point is, this is starting to look decent, but until we can reclaim that yearly open, I will not come out and say that the local bottom is in. Only time will tell. Now, I also wanted to discuss something. It's clear that we're seeing controlled selling on Bitcoin. Someone is essentially sitting on a beach ball. We're just selling. And yesterday, I got a notification saying that BlackRock were essentially transferring tons of Bitcoin to Coinbase Premium. And then shortly after, they started selling a ton of that Bitcoin. When will this stop? Speaking of which, I want to discuss the ETFs because you can see that yesterday, despite all the sell pressure, for the first time in a while, we had positive inflows. Now, NVIDIA did produce record quarterly revenue, naturally seeing a massive move of over $200 billion in market cap. So NVIDIA shot up over 5%. And of course, this does impact Bitcoin. If stocks can continue to climb the wall of worry, it's highly likely that Bitcoin will get more of a relief bounce. Now, from a trading perspective, I'm simply just playing it level by level. However, from a spot positioning, as you know, I have Bitcoin and Ethereum. I will be looking to sell, especially if we get another weekly close below $98,000. But I would be selling on a relief rally. I don't think that we will simply just go straight down. Now, we have some events to go over before I wrap up this video. Today, in about 1 hour from now, from the time I'm posting this video, we will have the non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate along with the existing home sales data. Now, we haven't had this economic data in quite some time, so it will be interesting to see what comes out of this. If we get positive data, it's highly likely that we will see a more significant relief rally. However, if the data isn't so great, at that point in time, it simply would not surprise me if Bitcoin goes ahead and trends lower, back below $90,000. And that's the gist of today's video. I entered a knife catching trade, which was shared in my premium group, and I will also share it with you after the fact on the channel, of course. However, we are nowhere near out of the woods quite yet. We need to go ahead and reclaim that yearly open. And right now, that is still a pretty far move of approximately $2,000, and not just go above it, but we need to hold it as support if we can go ahead and target Monday's high around $96,000, and then we can have the discussion around that 98K weekly invalidation level. And that sums up today's quick video. Bitcoin is still struggling below the yearly open, but I of course knife caught again. Now, if we are to see more upside, we need to reclaim that yearly open. Otherwise, it's highly likely that we continue to roll over. We'll talk about the weekly invalidation level as we get closer and closer to the end of the week. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. As always, nothing that I share on this channel should be construed as financial advice. I'm just a guy sharing with you how I'm operating in this market. My leverage trading tutorial is right here if that interests you, and I'll see you in the next video.